Good morning. How are all of you doing today? I just want to wish you a happy day. We're going to talk about driving errors. I'm going to get right into it. I'm a state certified instructor. I teach teens and adults. This is Driving with Myles. I've been doing driver's ed about 21 years. So we're going to go ahead and get into information that can cause you to fail, but also how you can change these behaviors to help you pass. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about turns. When you're making a left turn, you have to check traffic in both directions. If you don't check traffic, you're going to end up cutting off a car or literally rolling into a car. So you've got to check that traffic left, right, and left. You have to use your turn signal 100 feet or half a block. This lets pedestrians know because you have that flasher in the front. This lets cars know because you have the light flashing in the back. And then you have to get into the appropriate lane once you make that lane change. And then you have to have really nice braking. So left turns, as you know, are the most dangerous because you're turning in front of traffic and they're kind of stressful. Also, are you making a full stop when you stop? Are your wheels straight? A lot of beginning drivers don't know when their wheels are straight. So if you don't know when your wheels are straight, when you push the gas, your car could veer to the right, veer to the left. So you as a driver have to know when those wheels are straight. When you're done, please give us a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Let's talk about turning. Again, are you doing the traffic checks? And in the chat, I put a traffic check is both the observational of the vehicle and the pedestrian traffic, the proper reaction to the traffic. It is observed by the examiner. In my line of work, being a driver's ed instructor for 21 years, I try to teach my students those fundamentals from day one. Looking at the road, aiming high, looking ahead. Are you scanning? Are you looking? Do you see the light? Do you see the pedestrian? What color's their car? I'm constantly trying to train my students in that early phase to scan, to use your eyes. And when you scan and use your eyes, you're going to identify the hazards, you're going to make good decisions. And that's part of the driving process. Also, are both hands on the wheel? I've been reading a lot of comments. Do I turn hand over hand? Do I turn underhand? You have got to turn hand over hand. It varies what part of the world you're in. Some are hand to hand. In North America, we teach hand over hand. Other parts of the world, hand to hand. If you're driving a manual, obviously you're going to have to downshift. You're going to have to take one hand off the wheel, and then you're going to have to control your vehicle. So I love to hear from some of you. Are you learning hand to hand? Are you learning hand over hand? How do you drive? Are you driving one hand at the top? Are you driving one hand at the bottom? I did a tutorial on that. So I love to hear from some of you if you type that in. So that is really important. Are you having controlled steering? Because if you're trying to drive with one hand, you won't be able to control the car. You won't be able to turn. Early on, when I take students out, we're making 12 right turns, hand over hand into the turn. And when the car's out of the turn, hand over hand out. If you don't turn hand over hand out, you're going to go right over the curb to the right. If you turn too early, you're going to go to the left. So we try to teach that fundamental from day one. Are you turning out too fast? If you're turning out too fast, you're going to lose control. Are you turning out too slow and then hit the gas? The rear of the car will swing out. Let's talk about completing the turns. Again, that key word, traffic check. And if there's one thing that I could tell you today, it is the traffic checks. You must check the traffic all the time. That is the key to passing. So check that traffic. Are you in the correct lane? If you're making a right turn, you've got to turn in the nearest lane. When you turn in the nearest lane, you'll be able to make good decisions. You'll be able to be smooth and efficient with traffic. If you turn in the wrong lane, you're going to cut off a car. That's potential failure. That's a potential collision hazard. And we want to avoid collision hazards. You need to turn in the nearest lane. If you're making a left turn, this is here in the States, you're turning right by that double yellow. If you're making a right turn, the nearest lane is to the curb lane. Obviously, if there's an accident or something blocking it, you've got to turn on your blinker. You got to look over your shoulder, check your mirror and blind spot, and make that lane change. Also, you must yield for pedestrians that are in or walking near that intersection. Again, controlled steering. And then next, acceleration. A lot of students are off pace. They're too slow or they're too fast. So That speed and turn is critical. Are you signaling? Are you moving to the right all the way? Or are you kind of drifting and hugging to the left lane? You really want to make a smooth, complete turn. Let's talk about intersections. Again, checking traffic. You've got to check traffic. I've got to see you looking left, right, and left. A lot of beginning drivers just drive with the blinders on. Look ahead, look left, look right, scan. I got to see that eye movement, and that's really critical. Are you braking to a complete stop, or are you kind of rolling up? I want to see a complete stop. I want to see you look to the left and check that traffic. I want to see you look to the right. I want to see you scan the intersection. If it's clear, then you make your complete turn, right? Again, are you signaling? Are you moving to the right? Let's talk about driving through. Are you checking traffic? That's the first thing on the list. You've got to look. A car might be stalled out. Someone might be in a manual and they're in the wrong gear and the car stalled out. Or a big truck is making a wide right turn. Or a pedestrian is walking slowly and the light's getting ready to change. You got to be that defensive driver. Are you yielding to foot traffic? Are you stopping unnecessarily? A lot of beginning drivers stop unnecessarily. They hit the gas, hit the brake, hit the brake, hit the brake, hit the brake. Or if you're shifting, you're in the wrong gear and the car's just lunging back and forth. Are you accelerating smoothly through the intersection? Okay, so those things are super important. So what I did, I took the time to go over some of the things that deal with traffic checks. Traffic checks are probably one of the most critical things you need to do as a beginning driver. If you're here and you're understanding about traffic checks, give us a thumbs up right now, because it's about analyzing traffic. It's about making good decisions. And then obviously if the intersection is crowded, you wait. Obviously, if someone's coming across a crosswalk, you wait. We as testers and examiners want you to make a good decision. That first drive, you're going to be very nervous. You're going to have a lot of anxiety. You're on that examination. There's a route that you're going to go on. It varies. You're going to go through a lot of different areas. You're going to go through a residential area. You're going to go on curves. You're going to go through a railroad crossing. And then I told you what you need to do. You have to look left, right, and left. If you don't, you will have a deduction. If you're driving a stick shift, you could stall out the gear. You've got to be in the correct gear. They're going to ask you to turn on the fan or turn on the radio. They want to see if you can keep the car straight, or you're going to drift to the left or drift to the right. Hazard awareness. If you have to go off-road, you always want to hit something that is soft, never something hard. So let's review. It's about your approach to the turn. If you go in too fast and not checking traffic, you're going to end up going over the curb. And if you go over the curb, that's a deduction, or it could be an automatic failure. Now, I've had some questions about what if the instructor automatically stops the test? Well, did you do a dangerous maneuver? Did you run a light? Did he or she ask you to perform a lane change and you didn't check the blind spot? These are some questions you need to ask yourself. You will be nervous. You will have anxiety. You just want to relax. So let's review. I'm a state certified instructor. I went over some of the elements of traffic checks. I just want to thank you. Please subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up. God bless you. And I will talk to all of you later. Thank you.